Unit 21, Meeting the Resident Needs, Dementia, and Problem Behaviors. Dementia is the loss of the ability to think, remember, reason, and communicate. Other terms you may hear would be impaired mental function and cognitive impairment. This is not a normal part of aging. The types, those that are reversible, may be treated with a person returning to the previous level of functioning. Some of these situations could include poor nutrition prior to admission to the long-term care facility, an electrolyte imbalance, maybe their potassium or sodium or chloride, any of the electrolytes could be out of balance, and dehydration. Dehydration can also lead to confusion. They could also have experienced an injury, an illness, or an infection. Could be from side effects of medications. Maybe they just got a new medication that is causing them to have confusion, or maybe they had a medication that now that they had a change in the dosage. Inappropriate doses or combination of medications. Residents with depression may have some dementia-like behaviors. Types of dementia continued. Irreversible dementia is a progressing neurological disease. Some of these include Alzheimer's disease, which Alzheimer's disease affects the greatest proportion of residents. We have vascular dementia, including multi-infarct dementia, which can be caused by a stroke or cerebral vascular accident. Other degenerative neurological diseases include dementia with Lewy bodies and some types of Parkinson's disease. Before you return to class next week, I would like you to take and write down the definition of dementia with Lewy bodies and what it is. You can do it in a couple, 3 sentences, but again, you need to complete this assignment. It will be graded. Progression of Alzheimer's disease. The symptoms reflect the progressive degenerative nature of the disease. At this time, some medications can slow the progression of the disease, while others modify the symptoms of distress that the resident experiences. All medications have unwanted effects, such as drowsiness, that can cause other problems for the resident. If they're drowsy, they may not be able to participate in their normal activities or normal routine. They may fall or trip because of the drowsiness. Goals for the resident with dementia is to maintain a quality of life and maintain the highest level of possible functioning. The person with Alzheimer's will die of a different direct cause, such as infection, maybe pneumonia, a chronic disease, or complications after falling. Understanding problem behaviors from dementia. In general, try to understand the behavior from the resident's perspective. Be empathetic and put yourself in their shoes. All behavior has a reason. When and where did the behavior occur? What might have triggered the behavior? Observe for what went on before the behavior occurred. Maybe they had made a request and the request was not made in a timely fashion and they got very angry. So the trigger would be the request that was not met in a timely fashion. Are there any unmet physical needs? Is the resident hungry? Are they thirsty or tired? Does the resident need to use the toilet? Are they too hot or too cold? Are they in pain? We want to try to figure out what triggers are for the response, and if it's a negative response, we obviously want to try to take care of it and make sure that we meet those needs so we don't have those triggers in the future. Is the resident unable to verbally express psychosocial needs? Is the resident afraid? Are there changes in the resident's environment? Has there been a change in caregivers or visitors, or overstimulation, or other agitated people? How can the trigger or irritant be removed or modified? Is there a pattern to the problem behavior? What is the person's life history? What do you know about the resident's patterns of living? Is the behavior harmful to the resident or to others? And what does the resident's care plan say about the problem behavior and the approaches that have been effective? All of these need to be investigated when we have a change of behavior, so we can try to figure out and make corrections on that behavior to ensure that, again, negative behaviors do not occur in the future. Communicating with a resident that has dementia. Residents with dementia respond to nonverbal communication, reflecting the emotion or feeling of the people and situation around them. Distress of other residents or angry conversations may lead to behavior problems. So approaches by you as a CNA, you want to demonstrate control of your emotions. Communicate in a calm, unhurried manner, both verbally and non-verbally, and avoid escalating the emotion of a situation. So take your time with the patient that has dementia, even if you're at the point that you're just so frustrated. Remember to control your emotions and communicate in a calm, unhurried manner. Approach the resident with a smile and a positive attitude. And you can use gentle touch to communicating caring, unless the resident responds negatively to the use of touch. And refer back to Unit 4, Communication, for more details. Sensory or environmental stimuli. Residents may be unable to sort through sensory or environmental stimuli, not understanding which are important or signs of danger and which can be ignored. Approaches used by the CNA: use simple sentences, make simple requests. If someone has memory difficulties such as dementia or Alzheimer's, whether it's permanent or temporary, make simple requests. Don't say, okay, we're going to put your shoes on, your shirt on, your pants on, in your underwear. You need to say, okay, first we need to put your underwear on. After that is accomplished, then we'll say, we will next put your shirt on. Don't give them multiple requests at the same time. Repeat the same request rather than using different words. Limit the environmental distractions such as noise from television, bustling activity, and loud conversations. Bustling activity would be something that is like, you've heard the terminology hustle and bustle, where it's fast-paced and really energetic type of activity. We want to try to limit environmental distractions. And use consistent routines. If we know that they shower at 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning, then keep it at 8 a.m. Tuesday morning. When they get out of bed, if they first go to the bathroom, then they get dressed, then they go to the breakfast, we want to keep whatever routine they have on a schedule. Verbal expressions. The resident may have partially lost the ability to understand verbal expression and is unable to process and sort requests. In these cases, use nonverbal cues in addition to a verbal request to prompt the resident. Make suggestions rather than asking for an explanation. If the resident struggles to select an item, for example, which food to eat first or which clothing to wear, continue to offer the choices but limit the number of items to choose between. For an example, if you want to provide a snack in the evening to a resident, and you go up to them and say, okay, we have a choice between ice cream, pudding, sherbet, graham crackers, milk, toast, juice, what would you like? They're not going to probably be able to comprehend that, and it's going to be overwhelming to them. So limit the choices that you offer them. Recognize that the resident may respond with fear and frustration because he or she does not understand and cannot explain his or her needs. Impaired memory. Approaches by the CNA. We may have to use redirection and distraction. Suggest an alternate activity. Change the subject or change the setting. Depends on what the situation is, we might need to move them to another room. If you're having a conversation that is not working out or inappropriate, then change the subject. Or suggest an alternate activity. Hey, why don't we go over there and play marbles or play checkers? Maybe we can find another activity for them. Maybe it's just folding the laundry or towels and washcloth. Use an activity of daily routine that recognizes the resident's life patterns and preferences. The resident may have little impulse control, using language or behaviors that are not typical of lifetime habits. Understand that dementia has damaged the brain's normal function and that the person does not act this way on purpose. Respond in a calm, matter-of-fact, and accepting manner. And always show respect. It doesn't matter if they have impaired memory or not. Always show respect.